Hey, welcome back to the Main Quest Gaming Podcast. Today we will be talking about the new game 007 First Light.
Yeah, and I have to say, this is probably the biggest release we've talked about all year. I mean, it is highly anticipated.
Oh, absolutely. It's late April 2026 right now, and we are exactly 1 month away from launch. It drops on May 27th.
Right, which means the marketing hype is just like completely everywhere right now.
It really is. So for today's deep dive, we've pulled together a massive stack of sources for you. We're talking developer diaries from IO Interactive, PlayStation Store listings, the official press releases, some seriously deep Wikipedia articles, and of course, the wildest Reddit fan theories.
You always have to include the Reddit theories. Some of them are actually pretty spot on, you know?
Oh, for sure. Plus, we've looked at all the recent gaming magazine previews, and our mission today is to extract the ultimate briefing on First Light. We're going to break down the release details, look at how the stealth and action mechanics compare to other spy games, and explore how this game totally reimagines James Bond's early career.
Yeah, because they are doing some really unexpected things with the character this time around.
Exactly. And by the end of this, we'll help you decide if you should actually buy it and play it. Plus, we're going to rate the game from 10 being great and 1 being the worst, based on everything we know so far. So, okay, let's unpack this.
Let's do it. So I think the best place to start is the narrative premise. They're calling this Year Zero.
Year zero, right.
Because it has been, what, 14 years since the last major Bond game? I think that was 007 Legends back in 2012.
Yeah, 2012, that sounds right. So it's been a really long time.
Right. And with the whole movie franchise in this weird transitional phase under Amazon MGM right now, IO Interactive was basically given total freedom, like unprecedented freedom.
Which is crazy for a licensed property. Usually you have to, use a specific movie star's face or tie into a film.
Exactly. But they didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
They created a completely original digital Bond. He is not tied to any existing actor. In this game, he's a 26-year-old former Royal Navy air crewman.
Oh, 26? That is super young for Bond.
Right. He's played by Patrick Gibson, who you might know from Dexter, Original Sin. And the backstory is pretty dark. He was orphaned at age 11 in a mountain climbing accident.
Oh, wow. So he's carrying a lot of trauma from the start.
Huge amounts. And he gets recruited into this newly revived 00 program because of an incident in Iceland. He showed what the agency calls decisive judgment, nerve, and resourcefulness.
But I'm guessing that's just a polite way of saying he was totally reckless and blew some stuff up.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
He is entirely unpolished. He's inexperienced. He's rebellious. He constantly clashes with his mentor, this guy John Greenway, played by Lenny James.
I love Lenny James. That's awesome.
Yeah, Greenway's very strict, very by the book. But Bond does find this one supportive advocate in a much younger version of M, played by Priyanka Burford.
Okay, so think of this version of Bond like a high-performance sports car, but it hasn't quite had its brakes installed yet, you know? Like he's all raw instinct without the refined tuxedo and martini sophistication we're usually used to.
That is the perfect analogy. And that raw, impatient personality isn't just like narrative flavor. It actually translates directly into the gameplay.
Right, which brings us to the mechanics. Because IO Interactive is famous for the Hitman games, right?
Yes. Hitman is their baby. But Hitman is very slow, very methodical. It's a puzzle game, really.
Yeah, you wait in a closet for 10 minutes to poison a glass of wine.
Exactly. But for First Light, they are pushing this new philosophy they call forward momentum. So it's a big departure.
Okay, but let me push back a little here. If IO's entire pedigree is built on slow, deliberate stealth, doesn't throwing in Uncharted-style explosions and high-speed car chases risk ruining the exact formula that made them great?
I get that fear. I really do. But the developers have this core mantra: you're playing as a spy, not an assassin.
Ah, okay. That's a big distinction.
Right. In Hitman, if you get caught, you basically failed. But in a spy story, getting caught is just the start of the action sequence. You know? The game blends that Hitman freedom of choice with a free-flow melee system that's heavily inspired by Batman, Arkham.
So it's very John Wick. You can seamlessly transition from sneaking into just brawling.
Yes, you can go silent or go loud. And one of the coolest things is you have these classic gadgets, a lighter, an earphone, a pen that you have to adapt on the fly. But the real game changer is the bluffing mechanic.
I was just going to ask about this. The bluffing sounds wild. How does that actually work?
So it's about social self. You can literally use your suavity and dialogue to talk your way past guards.
Wait, really? So I don't have to choke anyone out or shoot them? I can just lie to their face?
You can just lie. The AI looks at what you're wearing, how you're walking, and gives you dialogue prompts. You have to convince them you belong there. It proves that being a spy is as much about confidence as it is about violence.
That is so cool. I mean, compared to other spy games where you just crouch in shadows, having to literally fast talk your way out of a restricted area is such a fresh take.
It really is. And if the fast talking fails, you might have to run, which introduces another massive new feature, drivable vehicles.
Oh, right. First time ever for an IOI game, yeah.
First time, they had to bring in specific driving experts to build out the mechanics for these crazy high-speed car chases. You get to drive the Aston Martin Valhalla,
Of course it's an Aston Martin. It has to be.
obviously. But to make all this high-octane action and this intricate bluffing feel real, the world itself has to be believable, right?
Yeah, you need good graphics and physics to ground it all. And they are using their proprietary Glacier engine for this, completely upgraded.
Completely rebuilt, yeah. The technical previews are just staggering. They're talking about fully dynamic global illumination, hardware-accelerated ray tracing, the works.
Okay, but let me ask you this. Does all this high-end graphical tech-like calculating exact ray-traced reflections actually change how we play a stealth game? Or is it just, expensive eye candy to sell consoles?
That's a totally fair question. In a lot of games, it is just eye candy. But here, the realistic lighting and shadows directly impact how you hide. But the craziest part is their brand new volumetric smoke system.
Oh, I read about this. The developers claim this hasn't been done anywhere before, right?
Yeah, because traditional video game smoke is just a flat 2D animation that obscures your camera. The enemy AI just runs a timer to pretend it can't see you.
Right, it's totally fake.
But in First Light, the smoke is a physical 3D object in the world. It physically interacts with light, so if a guard shines a flashlight through the smoke, it cuts a real beam and casts real-time shadows outside that beam.
Wait, so you can actually hide in the dynamic shadows cast by the smoke itself?
Yes. You use it to eavesdrop or infiltrate places like the Grand Carpathian Hotel in Slovakia. The smoke and shadows literally change your safe zones in real time.
That is insane realism. That completely changes stealth. And speaking of realism, we have to talk about the PS5 integration, because if you play on the PS5, they are heavily utilizing the DualSense controller.
Oh, the haptic feedback is going to be amazing for this.
Yeah, they use the adaptive triggers to simulate the mechanical feel of all the different gadgets and weapons. Like, firing a silenced pistol is going to feel completely different from stepping on the gas pedal of the Aston Martin.
It just grounds you in the world so much more.
Oh, and I have to mention the controller drama really quick. Sony announced a limited edition gold DualSense for the game. It looks like a sunburst, right? Like for First Light.
Oh yeah, the Reddit fans are losing their minds over this.
Exactly. They are so mad it doesn't look like the classic James Bond gun barrel. They are complaining constantly on the subreddit, saying it's a huge missed opportunity.
Well, the prevailing theory is that it's a licensing issue. Like, maybe they didn't want to pay extra for the gun barrel logo.
Yeah, probably just corporate red tape. But anyway, a mechanically rich world with great graphics is nothing without a good villain.
Absolutely. You need a compelling antagonist. And this game pits Bond against 009, a former British operative who went rogue.
Ooh, rogue 00 agent. Very GoldenEye. I love that setup.
It's a classic trope for a reason. And tracking down 009 leads Bond to this guy Balma, the Pirate King. He's an arms dealer who operates out of a massive ship graveyard in Mauritania.
A ship graveyard stealth level sounds incredible.
Huh?
And Balma is voiced by Lenny Kravitz, right?
Lenny Kravitz, yes. He's actually modeled after him, too. In the trailers, there's this wild scene where he's casually feeding his enemies to alligators.
Oh, wow. Feeding people to alligators is peak Bond villain behavior.
It totally is. And to make it feel like a true playable film, they went all out on the audio. There's a full cinematic opening credits sequence.
Just like the movies. And they got Lana Del Rey to sing the original title track, which is also called First Light.
People have been wanting Lana Del Rey to do a Bond theme for, like, over a decade. Her voice is perfect for it.
It really is. And the track was co-composed by David Arnold, the legendary Bond film composer. So the atmosphere is just going to be top tier.
Definitely. So looking at everything we have, the graphics, the new unpolished Bond, the stealth mechanics, the music, let's rate this.
Yeah, let's do the rating. Out of 10, 10 being great and 1 being worse, based on the previews, where are you sitting?
Honestly, I'm sitting at a very solid 9 out of 10 for anticipation. The realism, the way they're blending Hitman Sandbox with Uncharted's action, if they pull off that volumetric smoke and bluffing system, it's going to be revolutionary.
I completely agree. I'm at a 9 or maybe even a 9.5. The graphics alone look next gen. So who should actually buy this and play it?
I'd say if you are a fan of immersive sims, you have to play this. If you like narrative action games, or obviously if you're a fan of Hitman or Uncharted, this is going to be right up your alley.
So let's talk release logistics. It drops May 27th, 2026. It's coming to PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC.
Yeah, the PC version was actually delayed a couple of months just for extra polish, which is pretty standard these days.
Very true. And there's a Switch 2 version coming in Q3. As for the editions, you've got the standard edition, which gives you a deluxe upgrade if you pre-order.
Right, the pre-order gives you some nice little bonuses.
But then there's the massive $300 Legacy Edition.
Oh man, the Legacy Edition, that comes with a literal full-size replica of the Golden Gun.
$300. I mean, for a diehard fan, that is extremely
They
tough.
definitely know their audience.
So what does this all mean? To summarize, Dever 7 First Light is clearly not just some cheap movie tie-in game. It is a prestige gaming event. It totally reimagines Bond as this reckless 26-year-old. It blends incredible freedom and stealth with cinematic action, and the graphics are just groundbreaking. Plus, that all-star cast.
It's a massive step forward for spy games.
Yeah.
And, there's actually one really provocative thought I want to leave everyone with.
Oh, what's that?
Well, the game explicitly tests your morality and your methodology, right?
Right.
You have total freedom to choose between non-lethal stealth and just brutal, loud violence.
Right, you make the call every time.
Exactly. So since you are the one making those choices, does this interactive format allow us to understand the true psychological weight of earning a license to kill? Far better than watching a passive 2-hour movie ever could.
Oh, wow. That is a heavy question. When you're the one pulling the trigger, it definitely hits different.
It really does. It puts the burden on the player.
Well, I'll let you all at home mull that over. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Zero 7 First Light. Be sure to check out the technical previews for yourselves, and we will catch you next time.